Sit down, folks. Welcome to hour 2 of our second Fox and Friends Live with a studio audience.
Right.
How many people have traveled more than 500 miles to be here? Let's see your hands.
Wow.
Who's traveled more than 1,000? All right.
Well, we
Okay,
have Texas, yeah. San
Very
Antonio,
good.
about 1,200.
And also,
Welcome.
just let me say right now, I usually have to remind people to get dressed. Thank goodness I didn't have to remind you guys. You are all dressed. It's time to get up early.
And all dressed so beautifully. Y'all, we have Laura Trump coming in today. We have Kurt Cameron. We have Chris Christie. Great show. Jesse Waters is coming up.
And you're going to want to play along because of the Trump-Kim summit at the conclusion of the show today. Tom Shalhoub, who does Quiz Show on Fox Nation, is going to do a World's Most Famous Kims. And that's going to be the quiz. And it's going to be great. So, actually,
I think Kim Kardashian. Who's more famous, Kim Kardashian or Kim Jong-un?
we're going to find out in a little while.
I know one is in better shape.
Meanwhile, speaking of Kim, the Kim-Trump summit ended abruptly when the president said, you know what, this is not the deal I was thinking I was going to wind up with. North Korea came out and said, you know what, we don't understand. We did not ask for all the sanctions to be lifted. We just asked for some of them. But nonetheless, the president said he wanted to de-nuke more stuff. If you missed him, here he is last night with Sean Hannity.
It's a much tougher deal to make. Maybe it won't get made, but that's the deal that we should have. And you can't give up everything if you don't get that. Now, we could have done large portions, but you're not getting that. So we'll see what happens. Again, the relationship is very good. He likes me. I like him. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't like him. I said, why shouldn't I like him? I like him. Get along great. We'll see what happens.
So what they actually found out, what Steve was alluding to, they had a different, they tried to spin it seems, to say that we were not asking for absolute sanctions relief in exchange for taking down just one area. That is not the case. And what it turns out is they were doing basically the same thing his father did and his grandfather did, play us to the end and in the end not follow through. One of these people that was there wrote to me and said it was the president's finest hour.
Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, the North Koreans figured, all right, he's already got on the schedule a 2 p.m. signing ceremony, so this is in the bag for us. And then when the president realized, wait a minute, this is not the deal I thought I could talk Mr. Kim into, they got up. And that's why the North Koreans now are spinning it like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what we were talked about. That's also one of the reasons why we saw the foreign minister do the press conference and why Mr. Kim, the day before, actually took questions from Western
And we asked
reporters.
the audience, we asked you guys what you thought, and you represent the folks at home, and you all said you were glad he walked away. Nancy Pelosi actually said she was glad he walked away, too. We weren't getting what was best for our country, and the president said, I'm not going to rush into this deal. He did go on to say something will happen down the line. We will get something worked out eventually.
How many of you in the audience today feel safer regarding North Korea than you did a couple of years ago? All right. Let me see a hand. The lady right here in the back in the white jacket, why do you feel safer? What is it about the situation with the United States and North Korea now?
Well, President Trump's just doing everything he can to protect the American people. He cares about us, and he is at least trying to work out something with the North Korean leader.
Right, he is, and there hasn't been any rockets launched in about 8-9 months, and that means a lot, hundreds of days. So we'll see. And that you're from New Orleans, right?
Vidalia, Louisiana.
All right, close. That's right.
Vidalia, like the onion.
Yes.
I love it.
I would say this. This is what I hope, though. I do hope we start cracking down on how the Russians are beating the sanctions and how the Chinese are beating the sanctions. Let these be real sanctions and start enforcing it. And I do worry about today, South Korea and North Korea are supposed to meet again to start bridging their gap. And South Korea could single-handedly prop up North Korea. That would be counterproductive.
There's another deal that they talked about, too, during the interview. Sean asked him about the Green New Deal, and he mocked it. Listen to this.
It's an incredible thing. I see senators that have been there for a long time, you know, well-known senators, named senators, and I look at them and they're endorsing it. $100 trillion, and you couldn't do it for that. Yeah. But it's not even the money. It's so ridiculous. No planes. Let's not fly anymore. It is crazy. But personally, they should go with it. I love it. It's one of the greatest plans I've ever seen, as long as they're the ones that have to sell it, not me. Yeah. So
You're happy about it.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what the rest of them are going to do. But already some have endorsed it. It's incredible.
He loves it because he's going to run against that. How many? You've all been watching the Fox News channel. How many of you like parts of the Green New Deal? Somebody's got to like part of it.
No, Larry Kudlow was speaking at CPAC. He said the Green New Deal would literally destroy the economy, literally. It would knock out energy, transportation, airlines, jobs, businesses. We would probably lose 10 to 15% of our GDP.
Yeah, but other than that.
Right. But the one thing I think people should understand, as Secretary of Energy Rick Perry has said, we are on a fast track to burning clean energy. And if people are really serious about the environment, they would go nuclear and they would go natural gas.
Right.
Both we lead the world in, but people don't want to do that. You can't have both, because even if you go electric, guess what powers those fuel plants that power up the electric car? Coal. So you can't have one without the other. And also to point out too, there's something else going on. Well, Democrats clearly have momentum in many ways, and they certainly have the House, and they certainly like to put the spotlight on their investigations. CPAC is going on, which is this enormously successful conservative conference that started yesterday. One of the invitees was Van Jones. Van Jones, a famous confidant of Barack Obama and a famous Democrat and liberal, has been praising the president and played a vital role in delivering Democrats for the president's criminal justice reform. But never did I think that he would be one of the key people on stage with Matt Schlapp, the founder of CPAC, last night.
Did you ever think he would be praising conservatives? Listen to this.
Here's the deal. The conservative movement in this country, unfortunately, from my point of view, is now the leader on this issue of reform. My problem is I now have a conservative movement
Florida bedroom. He threatened his
for
family
libertarian reasons, for Christian conservative reasons, and for fiscally conservative reasons, is actually doing a great job on what should be my issue.
I don't think he got any pizza
This
either.
is supposed
He's
to
facing
be
several
my
charges.
issue. You are stealing my issue. Take some dadgum credit for being smart. Take some dadgum credit for getting it right.
Well, and he should take some credit, too, because Van Jones worked with Jared Kushner to rally support for the First Step Act, which, as you know, was passed by Congress, and the president has touted that. Diamond and Silk were with us just about 40 minutes ago. They electrified the audience this morning. And they were also at CPAC yesterday, and they had a great time. Anyway, what they said, they had the message that President Obama could not get done what this president has done. Watch this.
Van Jones has been a long advocate for criminal justice reform.
That's right.
So to see him give honor where honor is due, praising this administration for trying to solve this problem, I appreciate that.
Yeah, President Obama did absolutely nothing, in my opinion, for the community, for prison reforms. He had the opportunity to do that. But things that was plaguing, especially the black community, Obama did not do anything. But our president, President Donald J. Trump, who's for all Americans, stepped in and got the problem solved.
Right, and it's true, and I think the president should be talking more about that. So should his surrogates. Talk about how both sides came together on this issue. It got passed on a Friday. I didn't hear anything else about it. Yesterday, Van Jones also pointed out this administration's done a lot on opioids. They've done a lot with opportunity zones to flourish struggling communities. They're bringing in private investment. And listen, he's not going to vote for the president, but he pointed out when there's something done that's positive. And I think if this administration doesn't start selling the good things they do, they're not going to get any benefit from it.
All right, let's hand it over to Jillian, who has some more headlines for us. Hey, Jillian.
That's right. Good morning. And we have some news to tell you about a Fox News alert. Just moments ago, Washington Governor Jay Inslee says he is running for president. Moments ago, the Democrat releasing what his campaign will be all about.
Country's next mission must be to rise up to the most urgent challenge of our time, defeating climate change. This crisis isn't just a charter.
Inslee is the 11th Democrat to announce a 2020 run, so the list grows. All right, this video is hard to watch. A teen is in critical condition after his car flips several times and crashes into a concrete wall. Take a look at this surveillance video showing Jackson Kelly's car getting clipped by a van, then swerving and barreling across a parking lot in Florida. Witnesses say it sounded like a big bomb went off. The driver who hit Kelly is still on the run. All right, you may want to rethink your vacation plans. The State Department issuing a travel warning for the Bahamas because of an uptick in crime. Officials say the sand trap area in Nassau and family islands like New Providence and Grand Bahama are seeing more burglaries, armed robberies, and sexual assaults. And how about this? Dr. Seuss is releasing a brand new book. Dr. Seuss's Horse Museum will hit stores this September, 28 years after the famed author's death. An illustrator finished the manuscript after it was found in 2013. It features paintings from famous artists like Pablo Picasso and favorite characters like the Cat in the Hat. The announcement comes just one day before Dr. Seuss's birthday. That's a look at your headlines. Ainsley.
All right.
Over to
give
you.
it to me right here. Thank you, girl. All right, we have some of our audience members here. I wanted to just quickly find out your name, where you're from, and what you do. I'll start with you, ma'am.
Okay, Leanne Ross from German Valley, Illinois, and I'm a retired academic advisor at a college nearby.
Well, that's important. Thank you so much. Sir, how about you?
Good. My name is Bill Barnshaw from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I own a real estate company called Agent 06.
All right, good.
I'm Beth Benito from Boston, and I own a bakery.
Oh,
Ginger Betty's.
Yum. Did you bring some?
I did.
Oh, good. How about you, sir?
Hi there, Yuri Califf, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. We love Bryce Harper. We're together here. And asset management field.
Okay, good. I'll come down here to the front row. You, sir.
My name is Ben Ross. I'm from Noonan, Georgia, and I'm a pilot for Southwest Airlines.
Oh, really cool. How about you, sir?
Gary Ross, German Valley, retired farmer.
Oh, what'd you grow?
Corn and beans.
Awesome, thank you. You're feeding America. How about you, sir?
Greg Beaker, retired Lieutenant Colonel, Air Force.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you.
Real estate now.
Oh, good. How about you?
Judy Taddeo, Berlin, Connecticut. I work in reinsurance.
Wonderful. And how about you in the pink back there?
Hi, I'm Paula Mammarella. I'm from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I work for the Department of Treasury.
Awesome, thank you. A lot of people from Pennsylvania. Anyone else want to go real quickly? We have time for, yes, ma'am.
I'm Jada Barton, and I'm from Dalton, Georgia, and I'm a speech-language pathologist aide.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
I'm Tana Archer, and I'm from Vidalia, Louisiana.
Vidalia.
And I work for a wonderful group of medical doctors, Tillman Medical Group.
Well, good. I mean, this is a good opportunity to advertise for your company. One more? Do we need one more?
I'm Ravi Ahuja. I'm adjunct faculty, the graduate program, and also an entrepreneur.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. And I think I am teasing right here. Okay, these 5 Democratic senators are running for president, but they also have something else in common. They all want to legalize pot. Our live audience is going to weigh in on that coming up next.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates.
All right. During the audience, I polled the audience and asked them about this proposal. Cory Booker from the great state of New Jersey, where I pay taxes, is suggesting that marijuana be legalized at the federal level. Currently, it is a felony. Who's behind him? Well, look at all of his co-sponsors. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Kirsten Gillibrand. Of course, they're all running for president. What are they doing? I did ask, how many of you are against legalizing weed at the federal level? Just hold up your hands. On that side, that many. Let's go over to this side. About the same number. Now, over here, we do have a couple of people who think it's a good idea. And why don't you stand up for a second? What's your name?
Mike Canzaro.
Mike, why do you think it's a good idea?
I just look at it the same way as illegal gambling. If people are going to spend the money on it and we could tax it and make some money for, for our government, then why not?
Well, that's a good argument, don't you think? Yes. Right? All right. Thank you very much. Juanita, what do you think?
I think it should be legalized so we can control it for medical purposes. You don't know what this stuff is being treated with on the streets.
And if you buy it through one of the dispensaries, you can trust a little more than a guy in a Toyota.
Correct.
All right. Very good. Who's strongly against it? Very strong. What's your name?
Connor.
Okay, Connor, why?
Well, I work for a state prosecutor's office, and we just see that the amount of things that it leads to thereafter, it's really harmful, and it ruins many people's lives. And even though I think it has some good benefits, I think in the long run, it's just dangerous to legalize it.
Okay, over here, we met this guy a little while ago, and he, like me, once upon a time, I was a future farmer of America. You, an actual farmer.
Yes, sir.
You're looking at it from a business point of view.
Yes, sir. Just like was mentioned before, until it becomes weed, the drug, It can be medically very viable, and it's high potential profitability as far as farming goes.
Okay, but you said that you've got to harvest it before the good stuff kicks in.
Before the THC kicks in, it's a much younger plant, and then you don't have the weed as you referred to it.
Well, doesn't everybody else refer to it as weed? Thank you very much. This fellow right here, stand up for a second. What's your name?
Greg Beaker.
Greg, your point of view on this is
that people that are on harder drugs typically started on pot.
So you see it as a gateway?
Yes, exactly.
Can anybody explain to me why all these people who are running for president are supporting it?
I have no idea.
Oh, I think we know. What's that?
The young vote, the youth.
The young vote. Is that all it is? Pandering to the young vote with weed? This lady right back here. Hello.
I mean, we have to be very careful with that because the kids are taking this too far, and I think that they're trying to the Democrats are trying to pander to the kids. Well, I mean, that's what's going on.
There are a lot more people than just kids who are smoking pot.
Well, there's that.
Just saying. What's that?
But if we control it medically,
right?
You know what I mean? If it's a controlled substance. That's why they call it a controlled substance. If it's a standard, as this gentleman over here stated, he's raising it. He knows what the levels are. If it's a control,
well, he's not raising it yet.
Well,
I don't think, because we got somebody from the prosecutor's office over here. All right, great answers. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you very much. We'll see what Cory Booker does. Meanwhile, you know him and love him from Growing Pains, Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron's here, everybody.
Sibling from the hit sitcom Growing Pains.
Dad! Mike? It is Mike, isn't it? No, it couldn't be. My Mike was supposed to be home at 1 a.m.
Dad, I know I missed my curfew.
Oh, well, you admit you have one. That's progress.
Hey, Dad, isn't tonight the time when we turn the clocks back to the time change?
All right, fast forward 30 years, and now actor Kirk Cameron is sharing his faith and pro-life and pro-family message in a new speaking tour. And, ladies and gentlemen, he joins us live.
You know what's crazy? When that show was on, I had posters of you all over my bedroom, and I would write notes to you and send them somewhere in the mail.
You know,
now here I am interviewing you.
Here we are together on Fox and Friends.
Terry, right over there at the end, you've got to get a selfie with her.
Hey, Terry.
She's got her camera out.
She's got it ready.
Remember Teen Bop? Yes. Yes, on the cover.
It is so good to be here with you guys. I was just thinking earlier how nice it is to be able to turn on the news and actually find some hope. And walk away feeling that there is hope rather than just despair and arguing and fighting.
Well, that's true. The other thing is I'm shocked to see that in the news almost every day now, we're talking about late-term abortion and making people go on the record for it, right?
Yeah, you know, I sit back as a father of 6 kids and I wonder, how did we even get to this place in a nation like ours, right? And especially, it's personal for me because my wife is an adopted child. So I think about that. Yeah. She was 1 doctor appointment away from not existing. And our first 4 children are also adopted. And so, you know, if my wife hadn't been born, either would our 2 natural-born children. So my whole family is here because of people who helped these girls at a critical moment choose life for their babies, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah, tell us about Living Room Reset. This is kind of our living room right now.
Yeah.
You're going to travel around the country, right?
I have been for the last year. Living Room Reset is a brand new marriage and parenting event, and we're strengthening marriages, building strong families, and we're touring 30 cities this year, and it's just awesome. We're hearing testimonies and people telling us how this is helping them with their kids, helping them strengthen their marriage. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I believe that the strength of a nation is built on the integrity of the home.
Right. Kurt, what's the major problem facing couples today? What's the one thing they get wrong?
Well, I believe that couples want to have a great marriage, they want to have great kids, and they sort of look to maybe the government, they maybe look to who is our leader in the country to make everything on the outside work for them. But at the end of the day, as someone once said, our ultimate hope is not in who governs us or in the laws that we make as a nation. Our hope is in the power of God working through the hearts of people, through moms and dads, and building the next generation from the bottom up and the inside out.
Yeah, well, Kurt, when we go to your tour, when we go see you and your wife speak, you're speaking, there's praise and worship music.
There's praise and worship music.
Testimonies, you said?
Yes, it's a time to laugh together, to sing together, and dive deep into marriage and family and how to make those flourish
Y'all
and
been
work.
married for 28 years?
28 years.
And when you talk to couples and you hear about their problems, do you find for the most part the men are right or the women right?
You trying to get me in trouble right here, boxing friends?
I'll tell you what's right. Your son just got married. His name's Jack.
Yes.
20 years old. I think we have some pictures of it. What was that day like for you?
That was one of the happiest days of my life. Our family is growing. You could say we have a full house of growing pains right now. Kaylee is our new daughter-in-law, and they spent their honeymoon at Disney World. How about that? They are just the sweetest couple, and we're so excited for them.
And you got them fast passes as a gift?
Fast passes as a gift. That's right. And
now, if people would like tickets for your living room
reset,
yep.
Yeah, you could go to kurtcameron.com. You could find tickets there. We hope everybody will come. We think it's
We're
ultimately...
all going, right? All right, Kurt, before you leave, come on. Let's go
have a selfie.
All right, stand over here. Let me take a picture. Okay. All right, very good. All right.
Okay, everybody smile in the back.
Hold on. All right. Very nice.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next contestant, Tom Holman, come on out. Yeah.
But now I tell a single truth. There's you in everything I do. Now remember when
If you've been watching our show over the last few months, you know one of the hot issues in this country is border security. If you talk to some people, there's no problem at the border. You talk to people that actually go to the border and are trying to create some sanity there. There's a huge problem that must be addressed. Tom Holman's here. He knows the reality of it. Tom, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Former ICE director.
Morning. Hey, Tom, what do you make of the fact that ICE agents are no longer allowed access to inmate information in one county in New Mexico? That's something that you guys have really counted on for a long time, and now they're saying, nope, not going to do it.
Obviously, it's a moronic decision made by a foolish person because let me explain the sanctuary cities. Now, they claim it protects immigrant communities. I've talked about this a while ago on the show. What that decision does is put immigrant communities at greater risk. Number one, it puts my law enforcement, the ICE officers and agents at great risk. They already have a tough job. Now you're going to make them go to a neighborhood to arrest a criminal when they could arrest them in the safety and security of county jail. You know, these liberals keep saying, concentrate on criminals, but we're not going to let you in the county jail. It's just foolish. So when they send officers out, because ICE officers aren't going to be bullied, they're going to go find this person and arrest him because he's a criminal, right? So rather than arrest him in the safety and security of county jail, now they go to the neighborhood. And what happens when they go to the neighborhood? They're going to find others that weren't even on the radar. So what does that decision make? You release a criminal alien back to the very communities he lived in to reoffend. It puts the immigrant community at great risk of crime. It puts them at greater risk of ICE arrest. It puts officers at risk. And you entice people to keep coming to this country to go to what they think is a sanctuary. So more people are going to die. You're going to bankroll criminal organizations, smuggle people. It's just a foolish decision all across the board.
What's the process right now if you have someone who's illegal that an ICE agent has detained? Why do you need that information if they're inmates already?
Well, anybody gets arrested. You and I get arrested today. You'll get your fingerprints taken. They get sent to the NCIC. They'll automatically bounce up against the DHS database. So we'll find out if he's ever been encountered by immigration again. We have his prints. So we know that person's in that county jail. We have probable cause that he's in the country illegally because he has a record. He's in that county jail. That county's already made a decision to take his liberties away and lock him in a jail cell. Okay, he's not a choir boy. So why, if they already made a decision to take his liberty away and lock him up because they think he's a public safety threat, they won't lock him up. What is the downside in giving him to ICE so he doesn't get released to reoffend and remove him not only from the community but from the country?
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we want to go to the audience, give them some chance to do what we have a chance to do regularly, and that's question you. Janice Williams here? Hey, Janice.
Well, first of all, I heard there's a farmer growing marijuana. Can you point him out to me?
He's right there in the front. Right there in the front. That's great. Now, that's a farmer who thinks it's a good idea if you can harvest the weed before the THC.
Okay. I'll send a few boys over, talk to them a little later.
All right, Janice, what was your question?
Well, my question is, I think we all understand the difference between legal and illegal, and I don't know why the left keeps driving it that it would be legal to just walk across the border when they know it's a criminal act. And why all of a sudden is the push and the drive of all these caravans of illegals wanting to come over here to the United States? What is behind all of that?
This is because Congress will not do their job. There is no consequence to deterrence for people. I can't blame anybody for wanting to be a part of the greatest country on earth, but you can't want to be a part of the greatest country on earth and not respect our laws. When you enter the United States illegally, it is a crime. That's just a stone cold fact.
Hey, Tom, we stopped the Mexican influx. Almost 99% are OTMs, other than Mexicans. How do we stop it with Mexico, and we can't stop it with Guatemala, Ecuador, El Salvador?
Because citizens of Mexico, we can return to Mexico. When I was a Border Patrol agent, I'd arrest the same Mexican national 3 times in one shift. Because you'd arrest them, you can remove them, and you'll come back. Central Americans are much more difficult. First of all, they're all claiming asylum. 93% of them will lose their case. Only 1% go home. So again, until Congress gets off their butts and fixes the system, you're going to see them keep coming. We finally got a president who not only talked the talk during the campaign, but is walking the walk. Right. He's done more for immigration control and border security. And I've worked for 6 presidents, and I respect every president I ever worked for, starting with Ronald Reagan. But not one president has done more to secure this nation, protect America, than President Trump.
The next question is from Miss Angela. Where is Miss Angela? Miss Angela, right here on the top at the end. Tell us your story.
Hi, I'm from Brazil, and I've been in America. This is my second home. So thank God. I'm proud to be here now. But I met someone 18 years ago that she actually crossed the border, the Mexico border, with the coyotes. And she was telling me it's nothing different than what's happening now. The rapists, the kids lost in the desert. She said that it's something that she'll never forget. This was 18 years ago. So the problem, it's been going, everybody's dragging the problem. And I do see that now things are just getting out of proportion. It's big. And I don't understand. And I believe that the majority of people here don't understand when they say that a wall, it's immoral. I'm completely against this. But why this was not done before?
Great point. All right, Tom?
Well, a lot of barriers have been built in the past, which makes me upset because, you know, Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, they all voted for a barrier in the past. And every place they built a barrier, 100% of the time, it has resulted in less illegal immigration, less drug flow. And as you said before, illegal immigration isn't a victimless crime. In my 34 years, I saw some terrible things. Right. I've stood among 19 dead aliens that suffocated death. I found dead aliens on the trail when I was a Border Patrol agent. I've seen people tortured and killed. 31% of women are raped now by the criminal organizations. Yeah. There is no upside. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. We all have to agree. There's no downside on securing our nation's borders. There's no downside on less illegal immigration.
I'll just add to this. This is talking about what the great things the Border Patrol is doing. Yesterday, on Eagle Pass Station Marine Unit, they saved a father and son from drowning who are coming here illegally. But the first things first is you men and women are doing great things at the border, humanitarian things at the border.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because when the 2 children died that crossed the border a while ago, what a tragedy, right? And no one wants to see that. But the men and women of Border Patrol did everything they could to save these 2 young children. But what's happening on the border, but what they don't want to talk about, is say Democrats rushed on. I want an investigation on the Border Patrol. Meanwhile, Border Patrol saved over 4,000 people last year that would have died or in really bad shape. So these are men and women. These are heroes. These are patriots. And they need to be recognized for the very difficult job they do every day.
We got you fired up very early. Tom Holman, thanks so much.
Thank you for what you're doing. All right, let's hand it over to Jillian, who's over there, and she has some headlines for us.
That's right. Good morning. Following a number of stories, including this. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accused of funneling money to her boyfriend through a political action committee. A Republican group filing a complaint against the Democratic Socialist with the Federal Elections Commission. It claims Riley Roberts received two $3,000 payments for marketing services. Ocasio-Cortez allegedly didn't claim the money as a campaign expense. Stop what you're doing and watch this. A teen is in handcuffs and makes a bold escape diving out of a sheriff's window. The deputy shocked to find the room empty when he returns.
Oh, no. Way.
Kind of funny. The teen seen sprinting outside the sheriff's office in Wisconsin after plunging 12 feet to the ground. He was caught a few hours later. So how about this? Kids are getting drunk off vanilla extract. That's according to a warning from a high school in Atlanta. In a Facebook post, the school claims students are mixing Trader Joe's pure bourbon vanilla extract in their coffee. At least one student has been hospitalized. The bottle contains as much alcohol as Captain Morgan rum. The school does not blame Trader Joe's. Let's look at your headlines. I know we're getting some reaction from the crowd over here. Janice?
Okay, who's from New York? Do you guys like snow? Let's take a look at the maps real quick because we have not one, not two, but three snowstorms that are coming this weekend. So we've got one that's moving through right now, another storm system moving in tonight into tomorrow, and then we watch a new weather maker, perhaps a coastal storm or nor'easter on Sunday into Monday. So here in the Northeast, we haven't had a lot of snow. This actually could pump up those snow totals, but we are getting some snow across the Midwest and the Great Lakes region, and then across the West, we're also seeing the potential for another winter storm. Are you guys excited to be here for Fox and Friends Live? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. Okay, wait, which one is Brian? Is Brian here? There he is. Brian, so who is your favorite person on Fox and Friends?
You.
Oh, okay, I'm coming back there. I'm coming back there. Hi. Hi, Brian. Oh, nice to meet you too. Tell us real quick, where are you from? What do you do?
I live in Delaware, down at the shore, and I am a volunteer event director for Tunnel of the Towers Foundation.
Nice. Thank you so much for being here. All right, Brian. Thank you for coming.
But I will say this about Brian. Brian brought my cookbook, so he's one of my favorite guys.
Works for a great organization.
And by the way, how many people here love Janice? You got a book coming out next week. All right, meanwhile, coming up now, you know his work from sitcoms like Kevin Can Wait, writer and comedian, one of the best in the country. Michael Loftus, he's a deplorable, and he's here live.
Lots of investment firms talk about customizing a portfolio.
Michael Loftus here, of course. He's a comedian who doesn't usually get much applause. Am I right? This is very
I don't.
In the wake of this
Pretty sad.
In the wake of this public congressional testimony, it appears the case is actually Michael Cohen versus Michael Cohen in some cases. Watch.
Not only is Donald Trump not a racist, he believes that all people are part of one race, the human race. I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
And the amazing thing is, that's the same person. That is just one example of the complete 180s Trump's former attorney took as we saw this week.
Here to react to this and much more is comedian and headliner of the Deplorables comedy tour, Michael Loftus. Michael, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me. This is crazy.
What do you think about that? You never know which Michael Cohen you're going to get, do you?
I know, it's fantastic. I feel bad for the guy. It's like he just takes his reality off the last person who spoke to him. Like Adam Schiff is like, go in there and say that. And then he comes out with his droopy dog, I think Donald Trump is a racist. It's just the worst.
But here's the thing, Michael. You don't even have to write the jokes. All you do is run the soundbite.
Exactly. And that's what they should have done in Congress. They just should have pressed play. So tell us about Donald Trump. He's a racist. He's horrible. Well, here you are a year earlier. I love him. He's the best guy ever.
Right. And he had problems with his 7 hours of testimony. He contradicted himself. Here's an example of Cohen versus Cohen.
The words the media should be using to describe Mr. Trump are generous, compassionate, principled, empathetic, kind, humble, honest, and genuine. He is capable of behaving kindly, but he is not kind. He is capable of committing acts of generosity, but he is not generous. He is capable of being loyal, but he is fundamentally disloyal.
Like, I lied, but I'm not a liar.
I know. It's like all the guy does is lie, then he goes in front of Congress, then he's going to continue to lie. They should just keep tacking on years to his sentence.
Yeah, but
like,
Congress invited the convicted liar to Congress.
I know. There's one he should have passed. He should have had Lanny Davis. Wasn't that Lanny Davis sitting next to him?
Yeah.
He's got a Clinton lawyer. That's like a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Next to his and do Michael versus Michael.
Yeah, right. Michael versus Michael. I think Donald Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. He's a villain. He's a murderer. He's nice. It's like watching Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Right. My precious Donald Trump, give me money. Help me. I didn't lie. I'm lying now.
You just got yourself another 5 minutes.
I did.
Michael, the crazy thing is when he said he didn't want to go to the White House, he's on CNN saying, I hope to be asked to go to the White House.
Right? It's amazing. Right. He's like, he never thought Donald Trump would be president, but he was the guy that convinced him to run and said that he would absolutely win. It's like flipping a coin to see which reality you're going to get.
When do we find out about the Deplorable show?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, we're going to find out when I check my flight to Evansville in about 5 minutes.
Go there tonight.
Yeah, Evansville, Indiana. It's amazing. It's so wonderful. Then Dubuque and then Columbus and
For more information about the tour, go to
deplorableshow.com. And it's so wonderful because I live in LA and there's certain things you can't say out loud. Like, watch this. I voted for Trump.
It's cathartic.
I can breathe easier. My blood pressure went down.
Good luck.
Oh,
going out of town.
Thank you so much.
All right, meanwhile, our audience has a lot of questions. What do you think they want to know about their money? Rachel Cruz from Raymond Solutions has the answer. Coming up next.
Prestige creams not living up to the hype. One jar.
They want answers about money. She has been helping Americans learn the right ways to handle money and stay out of debt for years. And this morning, Ramsey Solutions' Rachel Cruz is here to help our studio audience. Rachel, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Steve.
All right, 3 quick questions. Connor, right over there, all dressed up in the red, white, and blue tie. What's your question for Rachel?
Rachel, as a young person, I feel people my age are forgetting that they have responsibility to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
And so what advice would you give to those people to when they're 60 years old?
Yes, well, I would say, especially those that are just getting out of college, right, they're entering the workforce, is that you have to be intentional. And this is the key. You have to understand that your future is dictated by you. And so things like getting out of student loan debt, getting out of credit card debt is going to be key in order to build wealth, to be able to
How
go
often
and
do you go to
retirement.
Starbucks?
Quite often.
And hey, Starbucks is not bad, but being intentional where your money's going is the key.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, next up, Nathan is right over here.
Hi, Rachel. Nathan, father of 2, living and working here in Manhattan. I wanted to hear from you about how, as a family, we could future-proof our finances. Where should we be putting our savings, our money?
Oh, I like future-proof.
Yeah, that's so great. I think the way to secure your family's future, honestly, is
by you, right? So taking care of yourself and making sure you guys are out of debt, making sure you have an emergency fund, and you're funding retirement. So 15% of your income needs to be going into retirement. That's going to be a huge blessing to your family that you're taking care of yourself.
Real quick, Ben is over on this side. There's Ben right there. Stand up, sir. What's your question?
Hey, good morning. I have a 12-year-old son. His name is Braden. And what can I do at this age to instill financial maturity?
Is Braden tall like you?
He is. He will be. He will be, yes.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say the best thing you can do is teach him how to work. Understanding that money comes from work. Money doesn't come from mom and dad's back pocket. So don't give him an allowance. Put him on commission. He works, he gets paid. He doesn't work, he doesn't get paid. And then once he earns his money, teach him to give, save, and then spend.
All right, very good.
That's good. That's good.
By the way, remember when Oprah Winfrey said, "You get a car, you get a car"?
Yes.
Well, you get a book, and you get a book. Everybody gets her book. Coming up. All right, and we've got a big final hour straight ahead. Chris Christie, Lauren Trump, Jesse Waters, and Tom Chabot. You're watching Fox and Friends live from New York City.
When nighttime nasal congestion closes in, Breathe Right strips are designed to simply open your nose right back up. Breathe better, sleep better. Breathe Right.
My gums are irritated. I don't have to worry about that. Do I?
Actually, you do. Harmful bacteria lurk just below the gum line.
New Crest